I never thought I'd be leading a radio show with Eastern Michigan football, but here we go. Last night, and this is like Rico's wheelhouse, Charlie Batch, back from the dead, goes on social media and throws out $1 million bounty on Oklahoma transfer super stud freshman quarterback Caleb Williams. Hey, Caleb, come on to Eastern. We got 1 million reasons. Yada-da-da-da. And then the venerable Thomas John Lang decided to join the party. And look, it worked because we're going to talk about Eastern. And sure, we have bigger issues to get to. And no, there's absolutely no chance that Caleb Williams is going to Eastern for $1 million. Because for $1,001,001, he'll go to USC.
Why not go to Eastern, though?
Have you ever been there?
Mike.
That's a start.
Mike, no. Here's the thing. You get, as a quarterback, you just have to get on the field. You go to Eastern, they're going to tailor it exactly how you want. You go there, you play your year, you're gone.
Right. If you've ever wanted to play football in the television series The Walking Dead, that's where you would go. No. That's what game day at Eastern is. My point is, I like what they're attempting. But we need to have a real discussion here about NIL. Because none of it offends me. None of it is like, oh my, I'm not clutching my pearls. But it doesn't add up. Texas A&M reportedly spent to the tune of about $20 million if these players stay in school to put the number one recruiting class together this year. Yet Michigan doesn't want to get involved with NIL.
Right.
Yet Eastern's throwing $1 million out there. Quinn Ewers skips his senior year of high school to go to OSU, but then leaves OSU to come home because NIL didn't exist in Texas.
And that's why I love what Eastern is doing, Mike. Think about this. Most people have no clue to where Liberty is, right? But Malik Willis left Auburn, went there, and maybe a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Okay.
No, it's possible.
I get your point. I just think he stinks.
But if you go to Eastern, you're going to go up against Western and all these other MAC schools. You'll have enough tape that, maybe you can catapult yourself to the tip top. You can become the next Trey Lance.
But what's your viewpoint on this, people? Like, see, this is where I want to know what the college football fans' reaction is to it. I don't care. I mean, Eastern's got a very well-heeled booster behind all of this. Someone that TJ golfs with at exotic locations. This guy's loaded. What I said to TJ when I talked to him last night, I said, you're doing this wrong. I said, A, put up $5 million. Really be a story. For $5 million, there are not many schools that are even going to attempt to match that. You'd actually have a chance of getting the kid. But two, the $5 million would make you an even bigger story. I said, but you're doing it wrong. I said, what you need to do is if you're Eastern Michigan and you're really going to do this, take $1 million or $2 million and chop it up over 5, 6, 7 players, $250,000 a pop. Go get legitimate roster upgrades that are going to help you dominate the MAC. Start there. Just go out every year like Western did under Fleck and go win 10 or 11 games. Go out and bust somebody's ass in the non-conference. Upgrade the roster, $250,000 a pop.
No. See, that's nickel and diamond, Mike.
How?
Because you're just getting this. I don't know if I want to go play for Eastern for that. Caleb Williams is there. Now you have receivers who say, NFL scouts are going to be looking at him. He's got to throw the ball to somebody. I'm your man. I'll catch your passes. Now you're going to have offensive linemen saying, somebody's got to block for you, Caleb. NFL scouts are going to be watching you every game. I'm your man.
Yeah, but now you're talking about a level of money that I don't think they're willing to spend. I get your point. I think they're misguided.
No,
I think we should just run the whole project.
If you can lock him up, if you lock him up for $1 million, then your strategy works. You can pick up these other people.
Right, but you can't get him for $1 million. You know.
I think you could get him for $1 million.
No
Mike.
way.
Why not?
Because if
$1 million and you're guaranteed to start.
Yeah,
there is nobody
for
in front of you.
$1,000,001, he can go to an actual school with real facilities. Sorry, Eastern. I mean, come on.
So $1,000,001, you go to USC, and now you're battling it out with someone.
He's going to battle it out with nobody.
He's going to battle it out.
How did
he get the job this year? Who was in front of him?
A guy who's presumably the number one pick in the draft.
Okay.
So who's in front of him at USC? No one.
No.
Lincoln Riley's the coach. He wins the job.
You got the kid who decommitted from Oklahoma and is now going to USC. I forgot the top QB.
Look, I don't know. And you know what? About
You go-
six
you go
people
to-
in town know, so
You
I
go
don't
to
really care.
you go to Eastern Michigan. There is no
Throw the
competition.
number out. I think that's absurd. But go ahead. Who cares? It's not even the main argument. The point is, does anyone have a problem with this? And when we look at it, haven't we lost cabin pressure when Eastern Michigan University's putting $1 million bounty out there? That's how you know we got to fix this thing. It's just dumb.
What needs to be fixed?
Well, there needs to be some form of regulation.
I loved it. When I saw that, I sent it to you immediately and was like, yes, Eastern is now entered the building.
I don't know.
248-539-9797. I loved it. I like the fact that Eastern, they swung for the fences. Probably not, you're right. Probably not going to get them, but now they're a story, and they're telling people, hey, if you're good enough, we'll find some money to get you here.
The people it should really upset are Wolverine fans.
Oh, they don't have to. They have to block M. Eastern, the block E doesn't carry the same weight.
I tell you right now, if they don't change their NIL attitude, if I'm Harbaugh, I'd take off. It's a joke.
The NIL, the new coaches' money, all the different rules, what you're seeing is an adjustment in the landscape. When the dust settles, college football is going to look different. Are you going to embrace it or are you going to hold on to the ways of the past? I got a feeling to me, this is how it felt when the whole, is this spread offense thing for real or is it still just 3 yards in a cloud of dust? We got to just run the ball. No. The spread is the new thing. And when the dust settled, the spread won, and now you see 5 wide at Ohio State of all places, a place that was known for just running the ball. Oklahoma, quarterbacks winning the Heisman. Why? Because they're putting up video game numbers in a school that was known for wishbone offense. This is the same thing. The landscape, it's under construction. And when it's done, those who are embracing this will have the advantage over the Johnny-come-latelys who try to do it later.
No, it's U of M's. Then you're calling U of M a Johnny-come-lately.
I am.
They have no interest in it.
They don't.
And that's wrong.
They're still trying to hold out and think that their way is going to work and their way is going to come back. And I'm telling you, it's not.
No, it's why people hate them, really. They think they're better than everybody.
The NIL and the transfer portal has changed things. And as silly as it sounds right now, in a few years, we may be looking at it and said, you know what? Remember that January 6, 2022? That was the day that Eastern turned it all around. And now, Eastern has now become the new Boise State. Where
okay, time out.
No.
You're really
No, Mike.
Wow.
But once again, at some point, people probably said, Boise State, why can't they?
But they won for over a decade.
I said this could be the day that we look back and say it all started
Throw the number
that
out.
day.
Throw the number out. Talk to the people. I think the whole thing is stupid. I do. The $1 million for Caleb Williams.
You think everything is stupid?
No, but he's not coming for $1 million. I mean, I get it. Good for Charlie. Good for TJ. Good for the program. And Chris Creighton, all jokes aside, does pound for pound one of the best coaching jobs in America. But you're not getting to play for $1 million. So if we want to talk about it, if we're going to be real, it's really about where are we headed with this? I mean, Caleb Williams, could I make the case he's worth $1 million? Of course. I can make that case. The same way I could make the case paying LeBron $100 million a year wouldn't offend me for what it would bring to your franchise. But it's about, look at the spectrum of outcomes. The NCAA and college football, it's like the worst designed sport, the worst designed business model on the planet. And all I want are some things that make sense. That's what I want. Hey, Eastern's they got the booster to do it, or MSU's got Ishby. Fine. But it's like, look at A&M. Mm-hmm. Now, what A&M's doing with $20 million to get the number one class, I go, I don't know. Isn't that where it was always going to end up? But then there's another part of me where it's like, even if schools followed suit, what number of them could actually do it?
I think a lot could do it, but you have to be dedicated to do it. You can't half-ass. If you're, in all seriousness, if Eastern really means to do this, Mike, they could pull it off. They could get it done. They would become a mercenary school, but yeah, it could work and they could start winning. The thing about college football, it's the one sport that people can't open their mind to think that somebody else could join the party. Somebody else could sit at the table. We're so conditioned to think that only 10 schools can ever do anything and everybody else is just cannon fodder. Whereas with this NIL and transfer portal, you know what? I want to buy my way in. I got new money, and I want to buy my way into this club.
I guided TJ to a player they could actually get. I told him, I go, you're on crack if you think you're getting Caleb Williams. I said, but I got a player you could go and get. I got him a quarterback. It's up to him. They want to go get him.
Who'd you get?
You're going to laugh. It was Cameron Ward, the kid who took over for Bailey Zappi at Incarnate Word, or whatever. Well, he was at was it Houston Baptist or whatever? But
Baptist, yeah.
Incarnate Word, they sling it. This Cameron Ward kid hit the portal. Go get him. That's a kid. You bring him up here. You throw it 50 times a game. You can be all right. You're not getting Caleb